What if Anakin Skywalker trained Ahsoka and Starkiller, Part 2? Coruscant's skyline glows like fire behind the Chancellor's office windows, an endless sea of gold and red light stretching beyond the horizon. But the man who sits alone in the darkness does not see it. He watches a single screen. A flickering, grainy holo-recording plays silently. A Republic transport shuttle, its hull scarred with blaster fire, spirals out of control. Explosions bloom like diseased flowers along its wings. Clones scatter. An escort fighter clips the burning wreckage. The shuttle slams into the cliffs below. There is no escape. The timestamp fades. Transport Theta-Seven-Seven, Jedi prisoner transfer. Status: destroyed. All aboard declared dead. The official report is clear. The incident has been logged, mourned, and forgotten. Chancellor Palpatine leans back in his chair, eyes narrowed beneath his hood, fingers steepled beneath his chin. He does not smile, he does not speak, but within him, the dark side swells. Everything had moved as he commanded. The Jedi Council, fractured and uncertain, had signed off on the transfer without resistance. He had used their own bureaucracy against them, offered a gesture of compromise. Republic oversight, he had said, a shared responsibility for the boy's fate. They never saw the dagger behind the words. A pause. A new feed appears. Footage from a private hangar, blacked out to the Senate and Temple alike. A shuttle lands without insignia. Cloaked figures move with robotic precision. The boy, Galen Merrick, is pulled from his restraints. He does not speak. He does not resist. Not Galen anymore, Palpatine thinks. He enhances the image, pausing the feed as Galen looks up, just for a moment, toward the darkened ramp ahead of him. The shadows of the vessel seem to swallow his silhouette whole. He has already stepped into death. The transformation has begun. Palpatine shuts down the screen. Darkness folds in around him like a curtain. In the silence, he speaks, though no one is there to hear it.
The Jedi buried a weapon in fear. I have unearthed it, freed it. I will forge it. The galaxy will know his name.
He turns to the city at his back, a smile creeping across his face, a slow breath.
Starkiller.
The red glow of a training chamber pulses with heat. Blaster turrets line the wall, rotating at irregular intervals. Hovering droids float in, cloaked in black plating, each one calibrated to mimic a Jedi's reflexes. The room hums with latent energy. Galen Merrick, no, Starkiller now, stands at the center. Shirtless, breathing slow, his skin glistens with sweat. His eyes are half closed, but his senses are wide open. I was a weapon before I knew the word. How many more tests before I am unleashed? The thought slides across his mind like the edge of a blade. He remembers flames, the scream of crushed metal, a monster's death beneath a crumbling building. General Grievous destroyed by a scream and a thought. He remembers fear and how it felt to be strong enough to make it stop.
Begin.
The voice comes from the shadows. The room ignites, blades extend. The droids strike. Starkiller moves like lightning. He doesn't parry, he breaks. He doesn't dodge, he dominates. Every movement is deliberate, brutal, explosive. His lightsabers, raw crimson, spin like fangs in the air. Sparks fly, metal rends, but the voice never stops.
Over 13,000.
Palpatine draws from a raised platform above the chamber, his hands clasped at the small of his back.
That is how many died when you killed Lockdurd. The soldiers who trusted you. The innocents who were counting on the Jedi.
Starkiller grits his teeth. He strikes faster.
But that is not what haunts you, is it?
The Sith Lord continues, silk in his cruelty.
No. What lingers is how they looked at you afterward. Skywalker, the girl, Starborn, she called you.
A moment's flash, Ahsoka's face, stunned, disappointed. Anakin's silence, that sense of being held back. Again.
They feared you. Even your masters. They saw what you were, and they recoiled.
Starkiller whirls, and with a scream, shreds a droid mid-leap, the Force crushing its body into splinters.
You are a child, Galen,
Palpatine says, mockingly, as he paces the outside of the battle, his hands waving in dismissal.
A weapon they tried to leash. A tool they tried to bury the moment you proved you didn't need them. They would have locked you away for the rest of your life.
The last droid dives. Starkiller raises his hand, not with desperation, but with absolute focus. The machine implodes, folding in on itself with a groan of warped alloy. It drops to the floor like a crushed can. Starkiller lowers his hand, breathing hard. The room smells of plasma and scorched circuitry. He looks up at the shadowed figure above.
I'm not afraid of them anymore.
No. You are not afraid of anything.
He descends the steps with the slow grace of a spider. His robes whisper behind him as he approaches.
But fear is not the only leash the Jedi use. Mercy, honor, restraint. These are chains, and you have begun to cast them off.
Starkiller says nothing. Palpatine stops just in front of him, his voice lowering to a whisper.
Now let us tear away what remains of Galen Merrick and forge something better.
He smiles as he produces, from behind his back, a helmet. Dark, menacing. Something to strike fear. Rain patters softly against the high windows of the Jedi Temple. Coruscant rarely weeps, but today the sky feels heavy, like it knows what has been lost. Ahsoka Tano sits alone in one of the temple's meditation chambers, her knees drawn up, her hands clasped loosely in her lap. The chamber is still. No wind, no hum of lightsabers, no distant murmur of clone troopers training. Just the silence. The silence she once thought was peaceful. Now, it's unbearable. Republic prisoner transport Theta-Seven-Seven, presumed lost. All aboard, deceased. She's read it many times in the months since it happened. It doesn't change. She doesn't cry. She didn't even cry when they told her. She just went quiet. Numb. Galen was angry. Reckless. Frightening even. But he was also her friend. A broken boy who had found purpose. Someone who understood the weight of the war without needing words. And now he was gone. Just like that, another name added to the list of war deaths that never stops growing. Ahsoka lowers her head, eyes closing.
I'm sorry, Starborn.
She whispers. She isn't sure for what. For doubting him. For not stopping him. For not doing more. She wishes she said goodbye. Outside, the rain continues to fall, soft against the temple walls, and Ahsoka sits in silence, mourning the boy the galaxy will forget, not knowing he's still alive. The scorched air hangs heavy in Starkiller's lungs when the chamber doors behind him hiss open. How long has it been now? Months? How many more tests? Palpatine turns away from the training floor, robes trailing behind him as he moves through a corridor deeper into the complex. Starkiller follows, wordless, footsteps echoing in the darkness. This chamber is cold, silent, massive, industrial. No glow panels light the walls, only the dull, pulsing red of containment fields and active surveillance nodes. In the center of the room, a single pod, heavy, armored. Steam rises from its seams. Palpatine raises a hand, and the chamber hisses. The pod unfolds like a blooming claw. What steps out is not alive, not truly. Its limbs are too precise, its steps too calculated. Forearms, each ending in polished, plasma-forged blades. A thin skeletal torso reinforced with heavy plating, reminiscent of the late General Grievous, but sleeker, deadlier, perfected. No breath, no coughing, only silence.
A prototype, designed to replicate the General, but with no soul to corrupt, no body to decay. It does not think. It does not hesitate.
The machine tilts its head, its metallic irises rotating to pinpricks of red.
It only kills.
Palpatine gestures toward it, and it powers up instantly. Red lights flare along its spinal column. Its blades ignite, 4 brilliant streams of unstable plasma. Starkiller doesn't wait. He lunges. The first strike is met midair, metal hissing against saber light. The droid counters with 2 spinning arms, while the third drives a blade towards Starkiller's gut. He slides under the strike, slashing up through its torso, but the blow only glances. The droid pivots without flinching. No rage, no pain, only calculated assault. Blades clash again. Starkiller grits his teeth. It's not just strong, it's relentless. There's no emotion to read, no hesitation to exploit, like fighting a memory. He hears Grievous's rasp echo in his skull, fractured from the past. He smells burning metal, feels the rage coil behind his ribs. The droid presses in. Then Starkiller roars. He drops low, channels the force through every muscle. The room vibrates. The droid lunges forward, blades descending. Starkiller raises both hands, and the force answers. The air implodes. Gravity shudders inward. The droid stops mid-motion, hovering inches above the floor, its limbs twitching in confusion. Starkiller clenches his fists. The machine folds in on itself, shrieking metal grinding into metal, joints collapsing, limbs crumbling into its core. It doesn't scream. It doesn't die. It just ceases. The ruined carcass crashes to the floor with a final heavy clang. Silence returns. From the shadows, Palpatine steps forward slowly, eyes gleaming.
You did not hesitate. You did not ask why. You simply struck.
He circles Starkiller now, like appraising a new weapon.
You are unleashed.
The ship cuts through the atmosphere like a blade, black and silent. Starkiller descends alone. No insignia, no faction, no name, only a mission. He wears his new armor, forged in secret by Palpatine. Jagged and cold, its dark plating fitted to his frame like a second skin. The helmet hides his face, angular and narrow-eyed, voice modulated into something inhuman, a predator given shape. The world below is a quiet grave, an abandoned archive, crumbling beneath roots and time. Once a sanctuary, now a tomb. Palpatine's voice still echoes in his mind from the day the armor was sealed around him.
If any remnant of Galen remains, she will stir it in you. Burn that name, and her with it.
He enters with no resistance. No traps, no guards. The woman lives alone. He finds her in what was once a library, bathed in dust and dimming sunlight. She is old, worn, robed in tattered brown and gray, her presence faint in the Force. But it's there. She does not startle when he approaches, only glances up. Her eyes linger on the figure in black, this armored wraith standing silent in the doorway. She doesn't recognize him, not through the helmet, not through the years. But he recognizes her. From the archives, from hushed words in the temple. She had vanished long before the war began. No formal record, no memorial. A Jedi who disappeared. But more importantly, she knew his parents. She knew him. He says nothing.
Have you come to finish what the war began?
She asks quietly, no fear in her voice.
There is nothing left here. Just memories. Just loss.
The helmet's vocoder hisses as he steps forward. Blade still sheathed. The way she holds herself, the way she listens to the Force. Yes, definitely Jedi. But she doesn't raise a weapon, doesn't try to flee. She simply watches him as one might a passing storm. She stares into his mask, her voice tinged with sorrow.
I do not know what you are, but I can feel what you've lost.
He almost flinches. Almost. She turns her back on him, returning to her work. An ancient holotable humming softly. Faint projections glow above it. Jedi names, battle records, fragments of erased history. She is cataloging the past. A few taps of the panel, and the image shifts, cycling through dead Jedi, killed in the Clone Wars. He steps forward slowly, watching the projection flicker. And there, his parents. Younger, alive, smiling in Jedi robes. And below them, a name. Galen Merrick.
You know them. You lost them.
He says nothing. She waits, turning her head slightly as she closes her eyes, attempting to reach his thoughts.
Who were you before that mask?
A long silence falls between them as he steps closer. Then, the red lightsaber ignites. The holotable shatters in flame. The past burns away with it. He never gives her an answer. Only the silence of a weapon. The war drags on. Jedi fall. Republic worlds tremble as the galaxy fractures under the weight of the Clone Wars. And in the shadows, Starkiller moves. He is no longer a ghost. He is a blade, wielded by the hidden hand of the Chancellor. Reports of a masked figure, armor like obsidian, voice like thunder, spread in whispers. Jedi vanish without a trace. CIS resistance cells crumble overnight. No survivors. Only speculation and rumor. He is not spoken of in the temple. He is their shame. He is Palpatine's storm. Every mission hones him further. More surgical, more silent. No speeches, no cruelty. Just death. Many Jedi are sent to investigate this phantom, but none succeed. Until one day. A jungle burns, the aftermath of a battle. A Jedi sanctuary is half collapsed, its outer wall torn away by cannon fire. Smoke curls through the treetops of the jungle surrounding it. Bodies litter the ground. Droids, clones, civilians. Absolute devastation to both sides, and everything in between. Ahsoka breathes hard as she slides down a crumbling stairwell, twin lightsabers active, their blue glow painting the debris-strewn corridor. Her investigation has yielded nothing of what happened here. The comms are silent. The others are gone or dead. The battle is over, but her attention is stolen for a moment. Someone is still here. She feels him before she sees him. Not a presence, a weight in the Force, like a black hole carved through reality, dragging everything down around it. She turns. and he steps from the smoke. The figure in armor moves slowly, controlled. A dark metal suit shaped like a weapon. No insignia, no faction, no words. Just the red of his blade and the rising hum of power. Ahsoka drops into stance, her sabers crossed in front of her chest.
You're the one who did this.
No reply. He rushes forward, fast, faster than expected. Their blades clash in a storm of sparks. Ahsoka grits her teeth, shifting under the weight of his strikes. He's stronger than her, but not sloppy. He fights like someone trained, disciplined, familiar. He comes in low, feinting a sweep, then turns into a spinning overhead arc. She flips back, barely dodging the blow, her sabers singing through the air. She presses in, twists under his guard. Her blade scrapes aside, armor deflects the cut. He doesn't flinch. The red blade comes down again and again, relentless. Not angry, not wild. Focused, calculated. Ahsoka pants, her heart pounding. He fights like someone she knows. She dives into a high slash. He catches it mid-swing. Their sabers lock, energy flaring between them. His helmet is close now. Too close. Behind the visor, nothing. No sound, no breath. But her hands tremble. She doesn't know how, but she knows. Her voice is a whisper, thick with disbelief.
Galen.
He stiffens. Just a fraction. The sabers remain locked, but his stance falters. And in that crack, she pushes. She knocks him back with a force burst, flips over the ruined column behind her, and runs. She doesn't look back, and he doesn't follow. He watches her disappear into the jungle smoke, sabers still lit, breath ragged behind his mask. He does not speak. He'll let her go. Another rumor to fill the halls of the Jedi Temple.
Master, are you there?
Her voice is quiet, but raw, like something is unraveling just beneath her skin. On the other end of the encrypted channel, Anakin's voice crackles through.
I'm here. Are you all right?
She hesitates. Her throat is tight.
No.
Starkiller kneels. His armor is scorched from the fight. Sparks hiss where plating was scraped. He's alone in the dark, kneeling in a circular chamber lit by a single overhead beam. Then, a flicker of red light. Palpatine's hologram materializes before him.
You let her go.
No question in his voice, just fact. Ahsoka curls tighter into herself, calm in hand.
He was wearing armor, a helmet, but I knew. I could feel it through the Force.
Anakin's voice tightens. He can sense her thoughts, though he barely has to. A cold sweat hits him all over. He can barely hold back.
Galen?
Ahsoka nods to herself.
He didn't say a word, but he knew me. He fought like someone trying not to remember.
Palpatine circles the kneeling Starkiller like a translucent, glowing phantom.
Emotion is a flaw. Compassion is weakness. You're a blade. Nothing more.
Starkiller is silent. The red glow of the holoprojection casts long shadows as it circles the room. But something inside him simmers. Anakin's voice softens over the comm.
Are you sure it was him?
Yes. And I think he could have killed me.
But he didn't.
She looks up toward the ash-colored sky.
I want to believe that means something.
Palpatine leans forward, his voice now a whisper.
Hesitation nearly cost you. Sentiment will destroy you. If she appears again, you do not pause. You do not remember. You end her. Do you understand?
Starkiller lifts his head. His mask hides his face, but not his thoughts.
Yes, my master.
But deep inside him, something still stirs. Ahsoka ends the call, but lingers in silence. In the black metal of her hilt, she sees a reflection. Not of herself, of the boy she used to train with.
Starborn.
The following days are a nightmare for both Skywalker's Padawans. Ahsoka is tortured as she waits for the Masters to return to meet and form a plan, and Starkiller as he is tested over and over. But the final test is finally presented. One he creates himself. Rain streaks the tall windows as Anakin and Ahsoka stand before the gathered Masters. The chamber is unusually quiet. Even Yoda seems stiller than usual, his eyes closed in deep thought.
We believe Galen Merrick survived. Your report claims the attacker wore full armor. No identifying features. No confirmation.
Ahsoka steps forward, the steeped frustration already boiling over.
It wasn't just instinct. It was the way he moved, the way he fought. I felt him in the Force. Just for a moment. But it was him.
The prisoner transport's destruction was investigated. The Separatists were blamed for the ambush.
Convenient.
Yoda opens his eyes, the troubled furrow in his brow doubling as he points toward Anakin.
Doubt, I sense. And in your doubt, a thread of truth.
Windu leans forward, steepling his fingers beneath his chin, unable to deny the strangeness of the claims presented.
Even if it was Galen, we have no way to track him. No transmissions, no leads, no target. If he lives, he is untraceable. Extremely dangerous.
The room falls into a heavy silence. Then, a chime. A soft pulse of an incoming transmission echoes from Plo Koon's council chair. Obi-Wan raises an eyebrow, concerned. Master Plo was meant to return for this meeting, but could not be spared on the battlefield.
Master Plo.
But Plo Koon is not present. The seat lights up and the hologram activates. The projection fills the center of the chamber with colorless, flickering light. A jungle battlefield shrouded in smoke and blaster fire. Plo Koon's form appears, his saber glowing against the dark. A blur descends from above. Fast, brutal, the red blade ignites midair. Starkiller. He lands hard, without a word. He storms forward. Plo doesn't hesitate. He meets him blade to blade. The clash is furious. Starkiller lifts a hand, and force lightning arcs through the air, wild and raw. Plo absorbs it into his palm, his ability to redirect electricity pulsing across his arm. He hurls it back in a glowing storm. Starkiller vanishes in a blink of speed, reappearing behind Plo with a spinning slash. Plo blocks mid-twist. They leap, crash, roll through shattered stone and torn brush. Starkiller's powers escalate. He tears a tree from its roots and hurls it. Plo splits it in half with the Force. Then, everything freezes. The recording glitches. A new image takes its place. Plo Koon is now kneeling, arms restrained, shoulders heavy. The scene behind him is smoke and flame. He lifts his head, slowly.
Skywalker. Tana.
Behind him, from the shadows, Starkiller steps forward. Helmet on, saber down.
No one else.
The feed cuts to nothing. The council chamber is dead silent. Anakin's jaw is tight. Ahsoka stares forward, frozen. Mace Windu's voice is like stone. He's not hiding anymore. Yoda's ears fold low.
Lost, Galen Merrick is. What remains, I know not.
The council chamber holds its breath long after the feed cuts. It's not a plea, not a farewell. It is a threat. Clear, deliberate, personal. Starkiller didn't speak through Plo Koon's transmission. He promised. The message is direct, not at the Jedi, but at them. Anakin and Ahsoka. Anakin demands the mission. Ahsoka insists she won't let him face it alone. Though the council argues for a broader response, Obi-Wan demanding to be present as well. Yoda decides. Only those called out by name should go.
Face him, you must,
he says gravely, a streak of lightning cresting the Coruscant sky at his back.
Save him, I fear you cannot. But try. You must.
Anakin doesn't respond. Ahsoka looks down. Starborn may be gone. Coruscant's lights flickered like dying stars through the Chancellor's viewport. The city breathes beneath the storm clouds, lightless towers reaching into the heavens like skeletal fingers, their peaks lost to shadow. In the deepest chambers of the executive building, far below the Senate's righteous eyes, Darth Sidious watches the storm. His hands are folded within the voluminous sleeves of his robe, his hood drawn low, casting his face in darkness. Only his eyes shine, burning twin suns in a withered skull. Before him, a holomap flickers in and out of clarity. Starkiller's last signal burns like a brand at its center.
Skywalker. Tano.
A challenge, a lure, a snare designed not to trap flesh, but hearts. Sidious smiles.
So much like your master.
He turns from the projection and walks slowly across the black marble floor, each step echoing like thunder. His voice is barely a whisper, but it dances on the air like venom through the vein.
Once I called you weapon, but now you burn like prophecy.
Outside, lightning blooms across the skyline, silent, white-hot, divine.
The blade has turned. The wound has opened.
He stops at the edge of the observation platform and peers into the abyss of night, rain kissing his pale skin.
They will come to end you, or to save you. Either way, Galen Merrick will not return.
His smile widens.
You will become my shadow, or ash.
Beneath the crust of a forgotten moon, buried under kilometers of alloy and silence, lies a chamber. The walls are smooth black durasteel, broken only by red lights that pulse in cold rhythmic sequence. Everything is angular, efficient, and cruel in its design. The temperature here never rises or falls accidentally. The air is too clean. It tastes like antiseptic and iron. This place is not of ritual. It is not ancient. It is engineered. The chamber is circular, but divided into rings, like a forge. In its outer rim, the walls are lined with hatches and vents, dormant for now, but clearly meant to release extreme heat, or worse. The middle ring contains grates and hidden mechanisms, the kind used in industrial melting facilities. Deep grooves are cut into the floor in geometric patterns, not ceremonial, but calibrated. They channel power, pressure, fire. The center platform is slightly raised, a crucible within the crucible. This is a forge. This is where Palpatine tests creations, where potential weapons are either perfected or incinerated. The Black Forge. And now, at its center, stands one such creation. Starkiller. Clad in his armor that reflects nothing but darkness, he waits, still, centered as if part of the machinery itself. Around him, panels twitch, vents hiss faintly. The room is waiting too. Elevated above the inner ring, held by energy restraints and surgical coldness, Plo Koon kneels. His robes are scorched. His chest rises and falls with effort. The restraints hum against his skin. Beneath his mask, his eyes dart to the vents surrounding him. There is no light but red, no sound but the hum of the forge. This is where one era ends, and another is forged in fire. Anakin's starfighter cuts through the black. Behind him, Ahsoka follows, her smaller ship banking into formation as they descend into the exosphere. Inside the cockpit, her fingers tighten around the controls.
Are you sure about this?
I have to be. He made it personal. He knows what Master Plo means to you. He targeted him specifically.
Below them, a signal pulses, subtle, encrypted, buried beneath the crust of the moon. It's not a call, it's not a beacon. It's a marking, a brand. Skywalker, Tano. The coordinates trace back to an industrial site, repurposed long ago, but recently reactivated. There's no atmosphere warning, no defense systems, but both Jedi can feel it, like walking into a room where something sacred was defiled. The Force doesn't flow here. It coils.
Do you feel that?
I've never felt anything like it.
They land in silence. No resistance, no enemy lines. Just a dark, silent hangar carved directly into the rock. The moment the ships power down, the heat hits them. Dry, still, artificial. The facility doesn't breathe like a place meant to sustain life. It pressurizes, like a lung that's forgotten how to exhale. Anakin steps out first, lightsaber in hand, but not ignited. Ahsoka follows. They share a glance, brief but meaningful. Ahead of them, a single corridor lined with harsh red lights, leading down, deeper and deeper.
Whatever this place is, it wasn't made for people.
No. Looks like it was made to unmake them. They move forward. The doors to the Black Forge part with a hiss. A wave of heat rolls out. Not natural warmth, but engineered. Sterile, precise. The air is dry enough to crack skin. Lights flicker in lines along the walls, bleeding red across every metal surface. Anakin and Ahsoka step through side by side, their sabers unlit but drawn. The room receives them silent and motionless, watching. The chamber is wide, circular, and symmetrical. Clean metal, inlaid heat canals, furnace vents dormant along the edges like closed eyelids. At the center, the crucible. Starkiller waits. He stands alone, a black shape cast in steel and shadow, helmet fixed in place, cloak unmoving. Above him, Plo Koon kneels, restrained, unmoving, silent.
Master Plo.
Starkiller's head tilts. The modulation in his voice distorts slightly, mechanical and deep.
You came.
Anakin steps forward, lightsaber igniting in a single sharp snap hiss.
Let him go.
Starkiller does not move.
You were right to come, Master. The Council would have never understood. But you do.
He steps down from the crucible platform, slow, deliberate. The sabers on his belt remain dormant. Power hums around him, like heat off molten ore.
You taught me that fear is just the beginning. That pain isn't something to run from. You showed me that the Jedi were afraid too. Afraid of me. And you.
Ahsoka activates her sabers. The light throws stark reflections across her face, barely contending with the red of the chamber. Her voice soft, with grief.
Starborn, please.
Starkiller's helmet turns to her with a snap, steam pouring from the vents around them.
I was never Starborn.
He spreads his hands, and the furnace ignites. Flames burst in a ring from the outer vents. The inner circle floods with red light. Gouts of fire spiral from the grates, licking up along the walls. The forge awakens.
I am Starkiller.
And then he moves. Like lightning, he closes the gap. His saber ignites mid-strike, a scarlet bolt cleaving toward Ahsoka. Anakin intercepts. Sparks fly. The room shrieks with the sound of churning machines and clashing saber light. They fall into motion, 3 figures circling fire, past and present, clashing at every turn. Starkiller's power is overwhelming. He uses a force repulse to blast Anakin across the chamber, then launches into aerial saber throws like homing blades, forcing Ahsoka to deflect and dodge. She somersaults onto a narrow platform above the furnace ring. He follows, leaping like a predator. Their blades clash.
Why did you spare me?
He doesn't answer. He simply smashes his blades into hers over and over.
Say it!
Their sabers lock. Her eyes bore into the black visor. She can feel it, just beneath the surface. Galen.
Because I remembered you.
He breathes, barely audible. But for a moment, it's all she hears as her face drops. And then, he slams her to the ground with a burst of telekinetic force. She skids across the metal floor, smoke rising from her tunic. Anakin returns, driven, silent. His blade moves with surgical precision, his fury honed, but boiling. Every strike is a question, every parry a memory. Starkiller matches him blow for blow, but the pressure is building. He unleashes a force maelstrom, a swirling burst of energy that knocks Anakin back again, sends pylons crashing down, molten light spilling through the chamber. The heat begins to crack the floor. The black forge is beginning to fracture. Ahsoka struggles to rise. Anakin grips the edge of the crucible, and Starkiller stands over them, sabers humming, the fire behind him a living wall.
You wanted to see what I'd become. Now you know.
The chamber groans under the strain. Flames spill through every vent. The walls ripple with heat distortion. Starkiller snarls beneath his helmet. His breath comes fast, uneven. Sparks dance across his armor where Anakin's saber grazes him. Ahsoka, scorched but unyielding, darts past him, slicing a control conduit and forcing him to pivot. They are fast now, working together, adapting. Anakin drives him back with an unrelenting strike, his blade a blur. Starkiller parries, but the force behind them is different now, balanced. For every thunderous attack, Ahsoka counters with speed. She distracts, Anakin punishes, again and again. Starkiller's rhythm breaks. He stumbles. The blow lands full force across his torso. Sparks explode as armor plates snap loose and scatter to the floor. He falls to one knee, the edge of the central platform searing hot beneath him. His vision swims. They cannot beat me. He looks up, helmet cracked, one eye visible beneath the visor. It's filled with hate and fear. He rises slowly, hands trembling, body wreathed in lightning. Not natural Sith lightning, raw force energy, arcing chaotically in all directions, drawn directly from the storm of his emotions. He sees Plo Koon, still bound above, conscious, watching silently. And that's when Starkiller makes his final choice. He slams his palm against the central control column.
If I can't be free, none of you are.
He slams both fists into the floor. The forge erupts. Fire lashes out from every vent. Power surges down the carved channels. The crucible platform fractures, exposing the reactor core beneath. Blinding, unstable. Above, Plo Koon's restraints ignite, and the upper chamber fills with light. The fire will consume him in seconds. The forge howls. A surge of red light floods the chamber. Emergency vents spill open around Plo's platform. Heat roars upward, the stream of white-hot flame racing to consume the Jedi Master.
No!
She leaps. Anakin throws his saber. The blade arcs perfectly, severs the clamps holding Plo's platform just before the flames reach him. The platform collapses, smashing into the floor with a shockwave of steam and light. Ahsoka lands beside him, shielding Plo with her arms as Anakin covers them both with a force barrier. At the center of the storm, Starkiller rises, arms outstretched, drawing everything inward. Rubble, heat, lightning. It all converges on him. For a single, shattering moment, he is no longer a boy. He is the storm. Then, a blast of white light. The floor beneath him collapses, and the storm falls. The forge dragged with him. Only the slow hiss of dying flames remains. Anakin rushes forward. Nothing. Only scorched metal, shattered armor fragments, and a pit. Ahsoka lowers Plo gently to the floor, her face pale, eyes wide.
Did he?
Anakin doesn't answer. He stares into the blackened void, flashes of lightning and crashing metal getting further and further away. The Force is silent. The temple is cold and quiet, not with peace, but with the kind of stillness that follows catastrophe. Tight, breathless, waiting for the next blow to fall. Ahsoka stands alone in the council chamber. Rain still snakes down the tall windows, distorting Coruscant's lights. She holds her arms across her chest. The heat of the forge left her with a chill still clinging to her skin. Plo Koon lives, but barely. He rests in Bacta now, silent and unconscious. The healers say he fought the burn of the forge the way he always fought, with quiet strength. Starkiller is gone, vaporized. The facility destroyed, nothing left to pursue. And yet, Anakin hasn't spoken since they returned. He lingers on the temple's edge, staring out at the endless city, jaw clenched, breath shallow. Ahsoka approaches. They stand on one of the temple's high balconies, wind brushing through their robes. Below, Coruscant pulses with 1,000 lights. Above, the days-long storm has finally begun to break, and with it, Ahsoka breaks the silence.
I thought we could save him.
Anakin doesn't answer right away. His grip tightens on the rail of the balcony.
So did I.
He stares outward, jaw tight, eyes distant.
The dark side. It doesn't just give you power. It makes you believe that power is all you need. That if you're strong enough, fast enough, angry enough, you can fix anything. You can stop the pain. You can make it all go away. But it lies. It tells you that letting go is weakness, that mercy is weakness, that love is weakness. And once it has you, it takes everything.
Ahsoka says nothing. She watches him closely.
Galen didn't fall in the forge. He fell long before that. When he started believing no one understood him. When he thought the only way to survive was to be stronger than everyone else. Stronger than the pain.
His grip on the rail tightens further.
I know what that feels like.
The words hang between them, heavy. Then, softer, his grip on the rail loosening.
Promise me, Ahsoka, if you ever feel like that, like it's easier to be angry than afraid, don't face it alone. Promise me that you'll talk to me, to someone. Don't let it grow in silence.
Ahsoka's voice is small, but steady.
I promise.
Anakin nods once. But in his eyes, his own growing storm calms as well. Ash. It swirls like snow across blackened stone and shattered steel. The remains of the Black Forge glow faintly. Reactor gone cold. The chamber buried in collapsed corridors and molten debris. It is silent, lifeless, until it stirs. From beneath the rubble, something shifts. A tremor. A breath. A gloved hand claws from beneath a twisted slab of alloy. Burned. Trembling. His armor is broken. Flesh seared. One eye burned shut. The other glassy with pain. He does not scream. He breathes. Barely. But from the edge of the ruined platform, a shuttle descends. Sleek and silent. The ramp lowers. A silhouette emerges. Darth Sidious steps forward, robes untouched by ash, eyes burning like twin suns in a hollow sky. He says nothing. He simply kneels, reaches forward. He places a cold hand on the burned boy's shoulder. The shadows swallow them. The shuttle lifts. The forge is gone, but the maelstrom it created remains. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you'd like to join us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.